Hello everyone. Have you ever heard about the legend of Little Dragon? Some of you probably have, some of you probably haven't. The journey of Little Dragon began in San Francisco in 1940 on 27th of November when young Lee Saodong, which is known to the entire world as Bruce Lee, was born. The Little Dragon was a very active child, and aged 3 months old only, him and his family, they moved out from US to Hong Kong. His mother was an opera actress, and in childhood he developed a passion for martial arts. So he started visiting the great Ip Man, his first teacher. That's where he developed his long-term, lifelong desire to learn something new throughout his entire life. Because he was getting into much troubles, at the age of 18, he moved back to pursue studies in philosophy at the University of Seattle, and the University of Washington in Seattle. He was a very good student, very optimistic, but studies didn't really caught his attention. So he decided to dedicate his entire life on learning and developing martial arts. And this is the first time when he started actually giving private lessons for public, for his fellow classmates, and so on and so forth. And it's very funny because I was doing different things to my classmates. I remember when I was a kid, I met Bruce Lee firstly when I was 8 years old. Probably all of you guys had some VHS tapes, big ones, which you used to watch this movie. And I remember I used to watch Bruce Lee, and all I remember from him now is a guy in a yellow suit screaming, "Ah!" like this. And I used to try to imitate his kicks, so I actually practiced his kicks on my fellow classmates. So neither their parents nor my mom was happy about that, so I got into trouble. So my meeting with Bruce Lee kind of delayed for a bit, until I became more mature and less aggressive and harmful to others. And anyways, so this is when I started actually thinking about who was really Bruce Lee. He wasn't only the martial artist, he wasn't only the philosopher, he was a visionary. He was the man who drive his vision throughout his local community. The guy who fought the barriers, who was the one who said, we have to change. Because at the time he started practicing and teaching Kung Fu to students, mainly it was American students, non-Chinese ones. And at the time it was a taboo to teach Kung Fu, Chinese art for non-Chinese. It was a big trouble. So he was isolated by his fellow compatriots in the United States, and he got depressed. So that's when he started thinking, I have to do something in my life, I have to change the way I do things. And he attended in 1964 Long Beach International Karate Championships, where he met the likes of Chuck Norris and great fighters of the past. And he stunned public by doing what was so memorable. He did 2 finger push-ups. So he actually put his entire body on the 2 fingers and he pushed up. And nobody could do it, even Chuck Norris. And you know these jokes about Chuck Norris with his tough. He wasn't tough at the time like Bruce Lee, honestly. And also he did 1-inch punch. So he kind of like he used his hips and he pushed the man with only 1 finger, and the man flew away, like 3 meters away from him. And that's the time when international fame came upon him. And he was so recognizable, so successful. And by the time one karate master said, I want to fight you, he challenged him. And he bet this karate master in an honest fight. But when he bet this guy cheated him. He took a stick and he actually punched his back. So he damaged Bruce Lee's spine. And probably none of you knew that he was disabled for almost 2 years. He couldn't walk. He couldn't stand still. So it was a really hard time for him. So everybody gave up on him. And only his wife Linda and his family said, "Come on, Bruce, you can do it. You have a little dragon." So there was one, I would say, benchmark moment when actually the greatness, the true spirit of Bruce Lee rose. It was in his courtyard. He was surrounded by his wife and his son, Brendan. And he was sitting on a wheelchair. And Linda, his wife, released her son, their son, Brendan, towards him. And he started walking. He was only like 1.5 years old at the time. And suddenly, he almost failed. And Bruce Lee was so scared that he's going to damage himself, he actually stood and catched him. And like Linda and himself, they were so stunned, they were amazed that he could actually stand on his feet without any support. So, this is a time when he realized that he can do more in his life. And then he developed his own school of martial arts called Jeet Kune Do, which stands for style without any style. Because Bruce Lee believed strongly that style separates man. There shouldn't be any limitations for human mind. You should be free spirit. And Bruce Lee was also, after that, he said, "I want to try myself in an acting career." He was quite successful in this. And apart from this, he did some charitable works, educational speeches, motivational, and so on and so forth. And even though he lived a very short life, he died only 32 years old, and there's still a lot of discussions holding out about why he actually passed away. A lot of conspiracy theories occur. However, people believe that his legacy still lives on. And in the end of my speech, I would love to quote his famous Be Water monologue. And I'll try to replicate his accent too. So off we go. Empty your mind. Be shapeless, formless, like water. Now you put water in a cup, it becomes a cup. You put water in a teapot, it becomes a teapot. You put water in a bottle, it becomes a bottle. Now water can flow, or it can crash. Be water, my friend. Thank you.